John Jorgenson here, and I'm in the design studio today with Michael Schnitzer. Michael, welcome.
Hey, John.
So one of the questions that comes up quite often is, Michael, how is a buyer kind of handed off throughout, the sales phase and the startup phase and the construction phase at Stanley Martin Custom Homes?
Right.
So it starts with kind of working with the marketing team in my group, and then how does the whole thing kind of work?
Yeah, I think, John, and you know this as well as anybody, I would say there's 4 phases. There's the sales phase. There's the pre-construction, startup phase, construction phase, and warranty phase, right? So you really have 4 phases. In the sales phase, you have the lead, communication, and also, all the different aspects of the sales phase. However, I'm completely immersed and embedded in providing sketch designs, working with the back office, getting pricing, going out to the sites and doing site estimates and touring the sites. So that's kind of the sales phase.
Right.
When we go to the pre-construction startup phase, I have turnover meetings with our design team, so that I'm, pulling the information that we had during sales and bringing it forward into the selection process.
Probably one of the most important phases of the whole transaction, because if you lose communication between the sales phase and the construction phase, that could be disastrous.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So our design team takes over, but they've already been immersed in the project.
Right.
I have a handoff meeting with our vice president of internal operations, and he's managing all the different startup phases. But I am immersed, just like in the sales phase, in making sure the building plans developed properly, the grading plans developed properly. And before we get to the construction phase, we also have a list of turnover meetings. So just for example, myself and my VP of internal operations are meeting with our VP of construction and our project manager, and we're having a turnover meeting where we're giving the final package to construction to be able to build the home, right?
Correct, right.
So we have the turnover meeting where the back office and myself are meeting with the construction team, and we're making sure that we're reviewing the plans and the specs, and I'm making sure these hot spots that the customers mentioned during the sales phase, that these things are progressing and being handed off to the construction team. So that's the construction phase VP and the project manager. And then the warranty phase is managed at the global level by the VP, but there's a service manager who manages the service phase. Certainly he's being assisted as needed with our project managers. And then kind of at a global level, with some executive meetings that I have with my team, I'm managing all processes and milestones to make sure things are moving smoothly. So it's a pretty easy system if you're well disciplined with processes and checklists.
So let's just step through this. So the consumer starts, really most folks start doing their research online. Then they eventually reach out to our company, which they get my team. And then they eventually end up working directly with me. Then you very quickly are involved. So now it's you and I are working with the buyer together. And usually by that point, the buyer goes into the contingent contract, and you and I are working very closely with them to get them all the information they need to go through the process. Then they remove their contingency, and you take the lead.
Absolutely.
Now, and then you are just step us through. Then they go to, what's the next phase after that?
So there's the pre-construction startup phase, where my VP of internal operation is managing the global process of all the startup phases, but I'm heavily immersed. Then there's the construction phase, where my VP of construction and project manager are managing that phase with me being in a supporting role. And then we have the warranty phase. So
got it. It's pretty simple. So from my perspective, what I see in our organization is everybody is an expert at their station. right?
Correct.
So when you do the same thing over and over and over, and you repeat and you repeat and you repeat, you get very good at what you do. So as the folks go through our program and they're working from one station to the next station, at every stage of the transaction, they are dealing with highly capable, well-trained individuals who know exactly what they're doing. There are no amateurs on our team.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, good.
Absolutely, John.
So is there anything else you think we should add about kind of how a buyer steps through the process from beginning? I know it's a lot more complicated than that, but at a very high level, I think a lot of folks ask that question.
John, I think probably the only other thing, because as you know, there are many processes and steps, if you will. We tell our customers, don't concentrate on all the steps. We're managing the steps.
Right.
We don't want to give you 100 steps. We want to give you the steps necessary to take to go into the next phase. So we may give you 5 steps, but we're not going to give you 100 steps because you don't care about the warranty phase when you're trying to make selections, right? So we have a well-disciplined process for stepping our customers through the process by telling them what are the next steps as we go through.
Yeah, we're constantly feeding the next step. So great. So perfect. Thank you for that.
Thanks, John.